and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Peter Wilson, a planning officer. His specialist subject is the Grand Slam winning tennis player Roger Federer. Madeleine Roper, a civil servant whose subject is the award-winning BBC sitcom Gavin and Stacey. Bernie Morgan, an author. She'll be answering questions on the ballet dancer and choreographer Bronislava Nijinska. And Thomas Nelson, a teacher. His subject, the Italian director Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns. Saddle up. Here we go. Another round in television's toughest quiz, with that pesky clock counting down to glory or oblivion. Which will it be for our brave souls battling it out for a place in the semi-finals? 2 minutes on a specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge will decide as the black chair awaits. So, can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
Peter Wilson.
Your occupation?
Planning officer.
And your specialist subject?
Roger Federer.
The record-breaking Swiss tennis player who won 20 Grand Slam singles titles in a career that lasted more than 20 years. In 2 minutes, let's go. Roger Federer was born in Basel, Switzerland, to a mother from which country where she'd also met his father?
South Africa.
Yes. Which Australian former tennis player, who's credited with developing Federer's graceful playing style, was Federer's first coach from childhood until his early years on the ATP Tour?
Peter Carter.
Yes. In 1995, Federer moved to the town of Écoublanc to join the Swiss tennis development program, where he stayed with a host family with what surname?
Christinet.
Yes. At the 1996 World Youth Cup, Federer played which other future world #1 on the first day of the competition, beating him in 3 sets?
Leighton Hewitt.
Yes. With which fellow Swiss player and friend did Federer share a flat in the town of Biel in 1997 after the Swiss tennis program moved there that year?
Yves Allegro.
Yes. What's the name of the fitness coach appointed by Federer in 2000 who remained with him for the rest of his tennis career?
Pierre Paganini.
Yes. In the 2008 Wimbledon final, considered by many to have been the greatest tennis match of all time, Federer lost the final set to Rafael Nadal by what score in games?
9-7.
Yes. Which player was Federer's opponent in the semi-final of the 2009 US Open when he hit what he described as the greatest shot of my life? A winner he hit between his legs with his back to the net.
Novak Djokovic.
Yes. What's the name of the sports management agency that Federer formed in 2013 with his agent, Tony Godsick?
Team 8.
Yes. In the course of completing a career Grand Slam by winning the French Open in 2009, Federer had to come back from being 2 sets down in the 4th round against which player?
Tommy Haas.
Yes. After losing the 2004 Wimbledon final to Federer, which player memorably said, "I threw the kitchen sink at him, but he went to the bathroom and got his tub"?
Andy Roddick.
Yes. Which African country did Federer travel to in summer 2015, where he visited children and schools who were benefiting from funding from the charitable Roger Federer Foundation?
Zambia.
No, Malawi. In 2018, aged 36, Federer became the oldest player to be ranked world #1 when he beat... I've started, so I'll finish. When he beat Robin Haase in the quarterfinals of the World Tennis Tournament held in which city?
Rotterdam.
It was Rotterdam. And Peter, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 12 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Madeleine Roper.
Your occupation?
Civil servant.
And your specialist subject?
Gavin and Stacey.
Yes, the award-winning sitcom written by James Corden and Ruth Jones about a long-distance relationship between Essex-based Gavin, played by Matthew Horne, and Stacey from South Wales, played by Joanna Page. In 2 minutes, let's go. In Series 1, Stacey's uncle Bryn insists on using an internet route planner to direct Gavin home from Wales to his address at number 17 on which avenue in Billericay?
Lime Tree Avenue.
Yes. When Gavin's friend Smithy visits Stacey's mother Gwen's house, she offers him her bed to sleep on instead of Bryn's sofa, but he refuses, boasting that he once slept in what?
A bath.
No, a wheelbarrow. In the first episode, Gavin's mother, Pam, complains to her husband, Mick, that because she's on the Atkins diet, she'll become known by what unflattering nickname?
3 Steaks Pam.
Yes, the scenes at Gavin's parents' home in Billericay were in reality filmed at a house in which Welsh village near Cardiff?
Dinas Powys.
Yes. At a family gathering in Series 1, Gavin and Stacey announced that they'll be getting married in 8 weeks' time. On what date? Which would have been her father's 50th birthday.
6th of April.
Yes, at the end of Series 2, when Smithy insists that his and Nessa's newborn baby should be called Neil after him, Pam is surprised, saying that she'd always thought Smithy had what first name?
Colin.
Yes, an extract from which 2005 single by Stephen Fretwell, taken from his album Magpie, accompanies the opening and closing credits of the sitcom.
Run.
Yes, in the 2008 Christmas special, Smithy uses Stacey's department store discount to buy gifts for his 2 grandmothers. One is called Nana Joyce. What's the full name of the other?
Jackie Collins.
Yes, Gavin has a second stag night with just Bryn and Smithy at the Dolphin pub, but is shocked to bump into one of Stacey's 5 ex-fiancés there. What's his name?
Ahmed.
Yes. What's the name of the real-life Welsh barn dance band that features in the Series 2 episode in which Bryn arranges a surprise birthday party for Gwen?
The Pluck and Squeeze Band.
Yes, in Series 3, when Nessa goes out with Stacey, she asks Gwen to look after baby Neil because her partner, the coach driver Dave, is taking a party of pensioners to visit which tourist attraction?
Stonehenge.
Yes, in Series 2, Bryn and Nessa drive from Barry to Essex to meet Gavin and Stacey after their honeymoon and use code names to communicate on their 2-way radios, with Bryn adopting what name?
Dame Judi Dench.
It is Dame Judi Dench. And Madeline, no passes. You've got 11 points.
Thank you very much.
And our next contender, please. Your name.
Bernie Morgan.
Your occupation.
Author.
And your specialist subject.
Bronislava Nijinska.
Yes, the pioneering dancer and choreographer who worked on many of the best-known ballets performed today. In 2 minutes, let's go. At the age of 18, Nijinska graduated from St. Petersburg's Imperial Ballet School to join her brother Vaslav Nijinsky at which famed theatre known for more than 50 years as the Kirov Theatre?
Imperial Theatre.
No, the Mariinsky. In 1911, Nijinska resigned from the Mariinsky in solidarity with her brother, who'd been sacked for wearing a too revealing costume during a production of what ballet?
Sleeping Beauty?
No, Giselle. Nijinska was married twice. Which influential Russian ballet impresario gave her away at each of her weddings?
Fyodor Shalyapin?
No, Serge Diaghilev. What name did Nijinska give to the progressive dance school she opened in Kiev in 1919, founded on the choreographic principles laid out in the treatise she'd begun writing the previous year?
School of Movement.
Yes, according to her biographer, Lynn Garofalo, in 1921, Nijinska, her 2 children and her mother escaped the Soviet regime by wading through which river to Poland?
The Volga.
No, the Southern Bug. What item of furniture plays a pivotal role in Nijinska's 1924 ballet, Les Biches, and was said to have been described by her as a star of the piece?
Chair.
Close. No, sofa. Les Cent Baisers, or The 100 Kisses, a new ballet by Nijinska, performed at Covent Garden in 1935, was based on which story by Hans Christian Andersen?
Thumbelina.
No, The Swineherd. Who designed the costumes for Nijinska's 1924 one-act ballet for the Ballet Russe, Les Trois Bleus?
Coco Chanel.
Yes, which Russian ballet critic and staunch defender of the classical tradition described Nijinska as a pedantic and stubborn vampire whose Marxist choreography debased the art of the dancer?
Fokine.
No, Andrei Levinson. What's the title of Nijinska's 1920 work for 5 women intended to produce the sensation of standing before an enormous insect?
Les Noces.
No, Demons. In 1929, Nijinska collaborated with the composer Francis Poulenc on Aubade, a choreographic concerto commissioned by which Vicomte and Vicomtesse?
Rubinstein's.
No, De Noailles. And Bernie, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 2 points.
Thank you.
And our final contender, please. Your name.
Thomas Nelson.
Your occupation.
Teacher.
And your specialist subject.
Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns.
The Italian director's epic Western films that feature the music of Ennio Morricone and made a star of Clint Eastwood. In 2 minutes, let's go. In The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, the bandit Tuco calls Clint Eastwood's character Blondie. The character played by Lee Van Cleef is known by what other nickname?
Angel Eyes.
Yes, what's the occupation of Juan de Dios, who greets Eastwood's character on his arrival in San Miguel in A Fistful of Dollars and warns him, you will get rich here or you'll be killed?
He's the bell ringer.
Yes, in For a Few Dollars More, the bounty hunters are attracted to a wanted poster for the capture of the outlaw known as El Indio, which offers a reward of how many dollars?
$10,000?
Yes, at the start of Once Upon a Time in the West, the station agent at Cattle Corner is seen chalking up the time of delays of trains to and from what station?
Tucumcari?
No, Flagstone. In For a Few Dollars More, according to the sign on his desk, what's the surname of the president of the Bank of El Paso, who is visited by the bounty hunter Douglas Mortimer?
Juarez?
No, Donovan. The screenplay for Once Upon a Time in the West was based on a story by Dario Argento, Sergio Leone, and which future Oscar-winning film director?
Bernardo Bertolucci?
Yes, in A Fistful of Dynamite. What's the title of the newspaper in which the bandit Juan reads about John Mallory's past, discovering that he's wanted by the British government?
The United Irishman?
Yes. Which Italian actor, sometimes credited as John or Johnny Wells, plays Ramon Rojo in A Fistful of Dollars and El Indio in For a Few Dollars More?
Gian Maria Volonte?
Yes, in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, Tuco stops a runaway coach that belongs to what number regiment of the Confederate Cavalry?
The third.
Yes, in For a Few Dollars More, Eastwood's character infiltrates El Indio's gang by helping Sancho Perez to escape from what jail?
Alamogordo?
Yes, A Fistful of Dynamite opens with a quotation displayed on screen that begins with the words, "The revolution is not a social dinner," and is attributed to which real-life political figure?
Mao Zedong?
Yes, in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, when Eastwood's character becomes dehydrated in the burning desert heat, the bandit Tuco takes him to be cared for at what nearby mission?
San Antonio?
It is Mission San Antonio. Thomas, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 10 points. And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 2 points, it's Bernie. In third place with 10 points, it's Thomas. In second place with 11 points, it's Madeline. And in first place with 12 points, sits Peter. So now, the general knowledge round. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Bernie to join us again, please. So, Bernie, you start with 2 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What's the common three-letter name for the shell that encases peas?
Pod.
Yes, the prioress, the reeve and the summoner are members of a group of storytelling pilgrims in what 14th century work by Geoffrey Chaucer?
Canterbury Tales.
Yes, what 1960s American television comedy series featured a tall and menacing butler called Lurch, played by Ted Cassidy?
Adam's Family.
Yes, which motorway extends across the Pennines from Liverpool in the west to the village of North Cave near Hull in the east?
M6.
No, the M62. At the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which swimmer became the first British competitor to win 4 medals at a single Olympics after he won 1 gold and 3 silvers?
Adam Peaty.
No, Duncan Scott. In the NATO phonetic alphabet, the letter X is represented by what term for a type of radiation?
X-ray.
Yes. What was the name of the deputy leader of the Nazi Party who flew solo to Scotland in 1941 in an attempt to negotiate a peace deal?
Goebbels.
No, Rudolf Hess. Which American R&B group had UK top 10 singles in the 1990s with Hold On, My Lovin' and Don't Let Go Love?
Charles and Eddie.
No, En Vogue. Which British illustrator, cartoonist and writer who was knighted in 2013 was the first children's laureate and is known for illustrating the books of Roald Dahl and David Walliams?
Quentin Blake.
Yes, in Roman mythology, the Rutulian Prince Turnus was slain by which Trojan hero who'd made his way to Italy?
Alexander.
No, Aeneas. The name of what common medical condition that causes painful inflammation or stiffness in the joints is partly derived from a Greek word for joint?
Gout.
No, arthritis. Which Australian actress was nominated for an Oscar for her performance as the title character, a classical music conductor in the 2022 film Tar?
Kate Blanchett.
Yes, the informal term Shank's pony refers to travelling by what means?
Feet.
Yes. What arachnid features in the common name of Chlorophytum comosum, a popular houseplant with long trailing foliage, often striped in green and white?
Spider plant.
Yes, spider, in a work entitled On the Revolution of the Heavenly Spheres, published in 1543, which Polish astronomer proposed the theory that the Earth and other planets in our solar system revolve around the sun.
Copernicus.
Yes, Americans celebrate George Washington's birthday as President's Day on the third Monday of which month?
February.
Yes, the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore is a famous landmark in which Italian city?
Milan.
No, Florence. Which American artist produced a series of screen prints in 1985? Studies to our finish, entitled Reigning Queens, featuring images of the incumbent monarchs of Denmark, the UK, the Netherlands and Swaziland.
Andy Warhol.
It was Andy Warhol. And Bernie, you had no passes, a great round. 13 points.
Thank you.
And next up, it's Thomas. Now, Thomas, you start with 10 points. The score to beat as it stands. 13 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What name of Australian Aboriginal origin is given to a curved stick which is traditionally thrown as a weapon and in some cases can return to the thrower while in the air?
Boomerang.
Yes, the southern English towns of Abingdon, Wallingford and Reading stand on the banks of which major river?
Thames.
Yes. What small breed of dog is named after a state in northern Mexico where it was popularized in the 19th century?
Chihuahua.
Yes, the Khmer Rouge was a communist regime that ruled from 1975 to 1979 in which Southeast Asian country?
Cambodia.
Yes. What name for a type of cured ham can be translated from Italian as dried beforehand?
Prosciutto.
Yes. In February 2023, which American singer had her fourth UK #1 album with a release entitled Trustfall?
Pink.
Yes, in the early 18th century, which English mathematician was engaged in a bitter dispute with his German rival Gottfried Leibniz over which one of the pair had invented calculus?
Sir Isaac Newton.
Yes, which Canadian national park in the province of Alberta became the country's first when it was established in the 1880s?
Vancouver Park.
No, Banff National Park. Which fictional secret agent was named by his creator after the author of a book entitled Birds of the West Indies, which he had in his Jamaican home?
James Bond.
Yes, in the name of an economic strategy that involves introducing new money into the supply by a central bank to alleviate financial disruption. The letters QE stand for what?
Quantitative easing.
Yes, what form of wrestling is conducted in a circular ring known by the Japanese name doyo?
Sumo.
Yes, the Oscar-nominated 2022 film subtitled The Last Wish is a sequel to what 2011 animated feature about a heroic feline character?
Garfield.
No, Puss in Boots. In March 2023, which politician succeeded Nicola Sturgeon as the leader of the Scottish National Party and as the First Minister of Scotland?
Hamza Yusuf.
Yes, in the 1995 television adaptation of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which character is played by Colin Firth?
Mr. Darcy.
Yes, what Latin term for the school, college or university where someone studied translates into English as bounteous mother?
Alma mater.
Yes, in what game, devised by Bill Cook and Alan Turoff, must players find as many words as possible within 3 minutes from the face-up sides of 16 dice marked with letters?
Boggle.
Yes, Death of a Naturalist, published in 1966, is a collection of poems by which Irish poet?
Seamus Heaney.
Yes, what name derived from a Persian word for wool is given to a type of scarf or shawl traditionally made from the fine soft wool of certain breeds of goats?
Pashmina.
It is Pashmina. Thomas, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 26 points. Next up is Madeline. Madeline, you start with 11 points. The score to beat as it stands is 26 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What Dutch semi-hard cheese made from cow's milk and typically coated in red wax is named after a village about 12 miles northeast of Amsterdam?
Edam.
Yes, the letters REV or REVD before a person's name are an abbreviation of what title of respect for a member of the Christian clergy?
Reverend.
Yes, which German-American supermodel won an Emmy Award in 2013 for hosting the television program Project Runway and became a judge on America's Got Talent the same year?
Giselle Bundchen.
No, Heidi Klum. What word referring to a line of latitude goes before Guinea in the name of a country in West Africa?
Equatorial.
Yes, the Israeli musician Itzhak Perlman rose to fame as a virtuoso performer on what stringed instrument?
Violin.
Yes, which South African-born entrepreneur bought the social media company Twitter in 2022 for a reported $44 billion?
Elon Musk.
Yes, what type of two-wheeled horse-drawn agricultural cart gained notoriety during the French Revolution because it was commonly used to transport condemned prisoners to the guillotine?
Guillotine cart.
No, Tumbrel. Which American filmmaker directed the dramas Batman, Big Fish and Sleepy Hollow?
Tim Burton.
Yes, although it's made of graphite, the core of a pencil shares its name with what chemical element?
Lead.
Yes, which Spanish golfer won his second major tournament when victorious at the 2023 Masters in Augusta?
John Smith.
No, John Rahm. Which US vice president succeeded Franklin D. Roosevelt as president when Roosevelt died in office in April 1945?
Nixon.
No, Truman. What word for a brief, amusing or interesting account of an incident or experience is derived from the Greek for things unpublished?
Bon mot.
No, anecdote. The song The Best Things in Life Are Free, which was a UK hit single in 1992 and again 3 years later, was a duet between Janet Jackson and which soul singer?
Marvin Gaye.
No, Luther Vandross. Which Scottish author, born in 1850, wrote the novel The Master of Ballantrae?
Robert Burns.
No, Robert Louis Stevenson. What collective name was given to the confederation of 5 coastal towns on the English Channel, namely Hastings, Sandwich, Dover, Hythe and New Romney, established in the 11th century to supply ships to the crown?
Cinque Ports.
Yes, Buckaroo Holiday and Hoedown are sections of what 1942 ballet choreographed by Agnes de Mille to music by Aaron Copland?
Glass slipper.
No, Rodeo. And Madeline, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 19 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Peter again. Peter, you start with 12 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Thomas's 26 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. In education, the acronym TEFL, spelt TEFL, stands for Teaching What as a Foreign Language?
English.
Yes, Oscar the Grouch, Big Bird and the Cookie Monster are characters on what long-running American children's television series?
Sesame Street.
Yes, in June 2023, which football club won the Scottish Cup for the 41st time, beating Inverness Caledonian Thistle 3-1 in the final?
Celtic.
Yes, George Osborne served as Chancellor of the Exchequer throughout the premiership of which British Prime Minister?
David Cameron.
Yes, which American singer topped the UK chart in January 2023 with a song entitled Flowers, her first #1 single since 2013?
Miley Cyrus.
Yes, a Bucks Fizz cocktail is made with champagne or sparkling wine mixed with the juice of which fruit?
Orange.
Yes, which Italian-born scientist was awarded the 1938 Nobel Prize in Physics for demonstrating the existence of new radioactive elements produced by neutron irradiation?
Enrico Fermi.
Yes, the Greek mathematician Archimedes died during a Roman siege of which city on the island of Sicily, where he'd lived for most of his life?
Syracuse.
Yes, a set of bongo drums traditionally comprises how many individual drums?
2.
Yes. What's the single-word professional name of the American actress and rapper Nora Lum, who won a Golden Globe for her performance in the 2019 film The Farewell?
Aquafina.
Yes, the faithful dog commemorated by a statue outside a churchyard in Edinburgh, where he's said to have stayed by his owner's grave for 14 years after his death, is known as Greyfriars who?
Pass.
Slavonia, Istria and Dalmatia are historical regions of which European country?
Croatia.
Yes. What's the common name for the granular substance consisting mainly of silicon dioxide found in deserts and on the shoreline of many coastal areas?
Sand.
Yes. The best-selling 2022 book entitled Madly Deeply is a selection of posthumously published diary entries by which British actor who died in 2016?
John Smith.
No, Alan Rickman. In 1871, the journalist Henry Morton Stanley embarked on an expedition to Africa to find which Scottish missionary and explorer?
David Livingstone.
Yes. Characters in which musical by Andrew Lloyd Webber include a steam train called Rusty and a diesel engine named Greaseball?
Starlight Express.
Yes, the Hellbender, the common mud puppy and the axolotl are three species of what amphibian?
Salamander.
Yes. What French term literally meaning sound and light is used in English for a form of nighttime entertainment comprising a narrated history of a building or location, accompanied by a lighting display and sound effects?
Discotheque.
No, son et lumière.
Yeah.
So, Peter, you had just the one pass. The faithful dog, commemorated by a statue outside a churchyard in Edinburgh, is known as Greyfriars Bobby. Yes. You knew it, but you know what?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you've won. You've got 27 points.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
So let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 13 points, it's Bernie. In third place with 19 points, sits Madeline. In second place with 26 points, it's Thomas. But in first place, just a whisker ahead, 27 points, it's Peter, which means he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
I can't believe I've just won. It was so close at the end. I thought Thomas had done enough to win, and I was nervous going up for my set of questions, but I'm very happy that I've come through.
Your name,
Peter Wilson,
your occupation,
planning officer.
and your specialist subject.
Roger Federer. I chose Roger Federer as my subject because I'm a big tennis fan. I've watched his career for 20 years or so, and he's just such a great person to watch and to listen to. So I wanted to do myself proud by doing that as a subject.
And Peter, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 12 points.
Thank you. I was hoping I'd do well. I didn't know if I was going to win, but when I saw Thomas go up, I was panicking.
It is Pashmina.
I thought, yeah, he's going to do enough, but luckily I came through.
Peter, you start with 12 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Thomas's 26 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go.
I applied to come on the show a few years ago, but I didn't quite make it. But to be here in the studio and a winner, it feels amazing.
You've won. You've got 27 points.
Thank you very much. I've done a few quizzes in the past on TV, but Mastermind is, of course, the pinnacle of quizzing. And just like Roger Federer, I hope I've smashed it.